Hey friends, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another episode of Keep or Delete my Goodreads TBR. I've been making the very long process of going through all of the books I've added to my Goodreads want to read list and sorting through them, getting rid of anything that I'm no longer interested in. We started this series with over 1,500 books on my want to read, and in the last episode we got it down under 1,000. So we're just gonna pick it up right where we left off. I have added more books onto my want to read since then. We are at 999, which is a very satisfying number. So I'm gonna sort them from date added because we are working our way from the oldest books that I've added to currently. I'm going to attempt to find where we left off last time. I think we were somewhere around here. We are starting with Skybriar by Talia Hibbert, which I don't actually know if this is a real book. I remember this was supposed to be her her Jane Austen inspired rom-coms, which sounded really good, but I don't know if she's still working on this because I added this back in 2021. I don't think this is an actual book. I do think I'll delete this one. I have all of these STEM novellas from Ali Hazelwood, and I'm going to remove all of these. I think I've discovered that I don't like Ali Hazelwood's contemporary books. I like her paranormal. I loved Bride, but all of her contemporary stuff, especially the like STEM ones, not for me. I also haven't heard good things about these. I mean, you can see they all have kind of low ratings. I will remove all of those. I have book 7 in the Veronica Speedwell series. We're keeping that. No Gods, No Monsters. This is a horror book. One October morning, Liana gets the news that her brother has been shot and killed by Boston cops. But what looks like a case of police brutality soon reveals something much stranger. Monsters are real. Ooh. This sounds kind of like Ring Shout. A little bit. The rating is not amazing, but when it comes to horror books, I don't really pay attention too much to the rating. I will keep this one. This sounds interesting. I have Horseman, a Christina Henry book. I will keep that. I really love Christina Henry, and this one I think is a retelling of Sleepy Hollow. The Daughter of Dr. Moreau by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. This one, a historical drama reimagining of the island of Dr. Moreau. I think I might remove this. I have been very hit and miss with Sylvia Moreno Garcia. I feel like all of her books sound amazing to me, and then when I read them, I don't like it. There's just something about her writing that feels very distant to me. Like, I just feel very distant when I'm reading her books. So I actually don't know if I'm gonna read any more of her books going forward. So I think I will remove this one. Ever After Always, a Berkman Brothers book by Chloe Lees. I'm gonna keep that. The Unseelie Prince. Oh. Can y'all read my mind? Do you know what I'm thinking? This is a fantasy fae romance. The throne is Valroy's for the taking, but first, he needs a queen. What is a prince to do? Steal a human, of course. She finds herself at the mercy of an unseelie prince with a strange offer. Solve his maze, and he'll grant her deepest wish, if she can survive that long. This sounds fun. The reviews are not great. The reviews are actually really bad. Oh, here's some okay reviews. I'll keep it. Am I just keeping it for the cover? Maybe. We Can Never Leave This Place by Eric LaRocca. It's an apocalyptic 21st century grim fairy tale. That sounds interesting. A precocious young girl with an unusual imagination is sent on an odyssey in the depths of depravity. Okay, we will keep this. I love a horror novella. That sounds really good. A River Enchanted. I'm gonna keep that one. I own a physical copy. Ensnared by Tiffany Roberts. This is the monster romance with a spider that I've always been very intrigued by. He spent years as a hunter, but now he's the one ensnared in a creature's trap. This both terrifies me and intrigues me. I kind of want to do a reading vlog reading monster romances that are like the craziest monsters I can find. A spider's pretty crazy. You know, like no like bull man, centaur. I want spider. What about a fish? A fish man, not a mermaid. That's cheating. Okay, top half fish. bottom half man. Oh my god, can you imagine top half fish, bottom half man? That's horrific. Okay, the Book of Living Secrets I own, Restore Me I own. I'm just keeping anything that I physically own on my TBR. Her Villains by Jade Presley. It's a fantasy reverse harem. In order to save her people, she must marry her enemies. I'm the Shattered Isle Princess. I've grown up on horror stories about the four all-plain princes, and now I've been promised to them as their bride, to usher peace. Whoa, wait a minute. Everyone is saying it's an MCU fanfic. There's Loki, Captain America, Thor, and Iron Man. I'm intrigued. We'll keep that. We'll keep that for research. Raven Unveiled by Grace Raven. I'm going to keep that one. I loved the first two books in this series. The Witch and the Vampire. It's a queer Rapunzel retelling where a witch and a vampire who trust no one but themselves must journey together through a cursed forest with danger at every turn. It's sapphic. Okay, we're keeping that. Does It Hurt by H.D. Carlton. I do think I'm gonna remove this one. I think that this is the shark book, and I actually watched a video of, I think it was Gavin, who read this book and like spoiled the whole thing, so I don't feel like I need to experience the shark book myself. A Restless Truth. This one I think I'm going to get rid of also. It is sapphic, but I read the first book in this series and I really did not like it, so I don't feel like I want to read this. Sing Me to Sleep. Penelope has lost so much in 6 months. She finally accepts some help. The only problem, there are side effects. Well, one, sleep paralysis, and the demon who came for her. Oh my god, this is a romance about a sleep paralysis demon. Interesting, interesting. Let's keep it. That sounds fun. Into the wind racked wit. What is happening to me? Into the wind racked wit. I'm having a stroke. Into the wind racked wilds. What? Okay. That's a tongue twister. Say it 5 times fast, I dare you. It's hard. This is the series by Shauna Maguire where she writes under a pen name of a fictional author. So, these books are fun. Okay, moving on from that crazy title. Mrs. Death. Miss Death has had enough. She's exhausted from spending eternity doing her job, and now she seeks someone to unburden her conscience to. Wolf Wildford is a troubled young writer, is well acquainted with Death, but until now he hadn't met Death in person. A black working class woman who shapeshifts and does her work unseen. Enthralled by her stories, Wolf becomes Miss Death's scribe and begins to write her memoir. Wait, this sounds really interesting. So it's basically about Death, who is a woman, getting her life story told. That sounds so cool. Oh my god, okay. All the reviews are so good. I will keep this one. Sweet Berries. This is the second book in the series where Morning Glory Milking Farm is, and I really like C.M. Nacosta. So I will keep this one. This one is, I believe, a Mothman. You know, I'm building up my collection of monster romances. I think I was, when is this? 2022? 2022, I was going through a phase, a monster romance phase. Gargoyle's Captive by Katie Robert. This one, I actually think I might remove. I just haven't been in love with Katie Robert the past couple years, and I kind of don't know if I will read any of her books anymore, so I will take that one off. The Clockwork Boys, I'm gonna keep that. That is by T. Kingfisher. Same with The Raven and the Reindeer, keeping that. The Basilisk of Star Manor by Catherine Moon, who I love. Oh, it's a novella set in the same world as Lady of Rooksgrave Manor, which I loved. So, okay, we're just automatically gonna keep that. I didn't even know there was a novella in this series. The Gathering Dark, an anthology of folk horror. Ooh. I love folk horror. Also, this cover, stunning. Okay, the authors in here are Erica Waters, Chloe Gong, Tori Bovalino, Hannah Witten, Allison Saff. I think I'm gonna keep this. I don't read anthologies that often, but I do really like folk horror. I would try this out. When Women Were Dragons. A rollicking feminist tale set in 1950s America where thousands of women have spontaneously transformed into dragons. exploding notions of a woman's place in the world and expanding minds about accepting others for who they really are. Ooh, okay. The reviews are really good. I will keep that one. That sounds super interesting. The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager, I'm going to remove that one. I don't like Riley Sager. The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy. This one, I feel like I've heard mixed things about this. I've heard people like it, I've heard people not like it, but it has always sounded really cute to me. It's like enemies to lovers, and there's zombies. One of them is like an undertaker or something. They're tasked with patrolling the strange and magical wilds. I will keep that one. Faking with Benefits. Ooh, okay, this one I'm gonna keep. I actually have, I have an audiobook of it. It's reverse harem, but I'm pretty sure whoever recommended this to me many years ago said that it's basically New Girl, like the show New Girl, except if she was dating all three of them. And I was like, yes, that, I like that. I like the sound of that. Okay, The Murder of Mr. Wickham, I own that one. Same with Nightshade by Carrie Lake. So I will be keeping those. Mickey 7, I'm going to take off because I have already watched the movie, so I don't really care to read the book. Caro Haunt by Darcy Coates. Remy is a tour guide for Caro House, a notoriously haunted building. When she's asked to host 7 guests for a week-long stay to research Caro's phenomena, she hopes to finally experience some of the sightings that made the house famous. At first, it's everything they hoped for, then a storm moves in, cutting off their contact with the outside world, and things quickly become twisted. Okay, I'm gonna keep that. That sounds fun. I really like Darcy Coates, so I will keep that one. Okay, Young Blood. Ooh, that's a very bad rating. It does look like it's a vampire book, but that makes me nervous. Okay, I'm just gonna take this one off. Squared by Mira Grant, who is also Seanan McGuire. This is a horror sci-fi novella. Also, this cover is insane. We think we understand the laws of physics. We think reality is an immutable monolith consistent from one end of the universe to the next. We think a lot of things. It was perhaps inevitable that some of them would turn out to be wrong. There's aliens, monsters. I love Seanan McGuire, so we're gonna keep that. Magnolia Parks, I'm going to get rid of. I don't personally care for this author. I'm going to keep A Prayer for the Crown Shy by Becky Chambers because I really liked the first book. Briefly, A Delicious Life, I own. Children on the Hill, I own. Black Sheep, ooh, this one gets recommended to me a lot because it is a serial killer romance and it's by Brynne Weaver, who everybody knows wrote Butcher and Blackbird, but this one I think she wrote first with Alexa Harlow. Ooh, okay. Now I remember. The heroine is the serial killer. So it very much, to me, is giving like mindfuck vibes because she's the killer and he is the FBI agent. I'm gonna keep that one for sure. I do wish it had a better cover. The cover's not good. We need a redo here. The Haunting of Alejandra by V. Castro, who I have read a book from and really enjoyed. This one is a woman is haunted by the Mexican folk demon La Llorona as she unravels the dark secrets of her family history. I'm gonna keep that because I did really like, I think it was called Goddess of Filth. I really liked that, so I'll keep that one. The Babysitter Lives by Stephen Graham Jones. This one, oh, it's only on audio. Interesting, okay. I love Stephen Graham Jones. I'm honestly just gonna keep this automatically because I love Stephen Graham Jones and I am very close to having read his entire backlist. The Drift by C.J. Tudor. Survival can be murder. Hannah awakens to carnage, all mangled metal and shattered glass. Evacuated from a secluded boarding school during a snowstorm, her coach careened off-road, trapping her with a handful of survivors. Meg awakes to a gentle rocking. She's in a cable car stranded high above snowy mountains with 5 strangers and no memory of how they got on board. Carter is gazing out the window of an isolated ski chalet that he and his companions call home. As their generator begins to waver in the storm, the threat of something lurking in the chalet's depths looms larger. Storm rages. Inside each group, a killer lurks. Okay, that sounds really interesting. This also sounds like a very good thriller for winter, so I'm gonna keep that one. Mother Thing. I love this cover. A darkly funny domestic horror novel about a woman who must take drastic measures to save her husband and herself from a vengeful ghost of a mother-in-law. So the mother-in-law dies and then starts haunting them as a ghost. That sounds very funny. Okay, I'll keep that. Patricia wants to cuddle. The contestants of a reality television dating show compete for love and their lives. I love a reality dating competition. So it says, when the final 4 women in competition for an aloof, if somewhat sleazy bachelor's heart arrive on a mysterious island, they mentally prepare themselves for another week of extreme sleep deprivation. Each woman came on the catch for her own reasons, and they've all got their eyes steadfastly trained on their respective prizes. Enter Patricia, a temperamental but woefully misunderstood local living alone in the dark woods and desperate to forge a connection of her own. As the contestants perform for the cameras that surround them, Patricia watches from her place in the shadows, a queer specter haunting the bombastic display of heterosexuality before her. And when the cast and crew at last make her acquaintance atop the island's tallest and most desolate peak, they soon realize that if they're to have any hope of making it to the next elimination, they'll have to first survive the night. That sounds wild. That sounds wild. Oh my god, I love the sound of that. That sounds actually so good. Villain, this is the sequel to Hench, which I really love, and I've been waiting for the second book. I mean, as you can see, I added this in 2022, and it comes out next year. I've been waiting a long time, so I will keep that. It Rides a Pale Horse. This one I have on my physical TBR. The Dark Between the Trees. Ooh, okay, this one is giving like Blair Witch vibes. In the 1600s, a group of soldiers got lost in these woods, never to be seen from again. And so current day, 5 women are headed to discover once and for all what happened to the unfortunate group of soldiers, led by Dr. Alice Christopher, a historian who has devoted her entire academic career to uncovering the secrets of the woods. That sounds good. I love like a Blair Witch Project, lost in the woods kind of vibe. When the night bell rings, don't awaken what sleeps in the dark. Descending into the cool darkness of the caved-in tunnels in a desperate search for water, 2 women find Lavina Kane's diary, a settler in search of prosperity who brought her family to Nevada in late 1860s. Lavina and the settlers of the western town discovered something monstrous that dwells in the depths of the mine. I will keep that because anything that's like deep in the caves, deep underground, in the tunnels, that actually freaks me out and I love it. Sweet Dandelion. Dandelion Meadows is cursed. At 18, 18, it's a romance. At 18, she should be headed off to college, all smiles. Instead, a victim of a school shooting, she's starting her senior year in a new city and living with her brother. Forced to meet with the school counselor, Please don't tell me the romance is with this high school student who is deeply traumatized and her guidance counselor. Danny finds him chipping away at the walls she's built. No. Lachlan Taylor doesn't know what to make at first of the broken student he's tasked with helping. He survived a trauma, and he's not sure he can save her from it, but he knows he has to try. The more time they spend together, the more they learn about what it really means to live. No, jail. Absolutely not. A Dreadful Splendor. A fun gothic murder mystery brimming with romance, betrayals, and chills. A fake spiritualist is summoned to hold a seance for a bride who died on the eve of her wedding, but as nefarious secrets are revealed, the line between hoax and haunting blurs. That sounds very fun. I will keep that one. Such Sharp Teeth by Rachel Harrison, who I've never read a book from before. This one is about a young woman in need of transformation. Finds herself in touch with the animal inside. Oh, I think this one is about a woman who turns into a werewolf. But from what I know about Rachel Harrison is that her horror books are kind of like campy and funny. I don't know, I think I'll keep this one. It does sound fun. Unbroken. Lucy just turned 18. Why are they all 18? What is this? Why are all these synopses starting with, she's just turned 18? Lucy just turned 18 and she's finally ready to lose her V card. A camping trip with her boyfriend's family is the perfect opportunity. When she stumbles upon a couple in the throes of passion, Lucy is transfixed, a hunger awakening in her. But it turns out the strangers in the wood aren't strangers at all. Angry and confused, she runs away from the scene. Only she's not alone. Footsteps rustle behind her, chasing Lucy into the forest. Once she's finally captured, the fear coursing through her veins turns into burning desire. Okay, it is boyfriend's dad, but she's 18. No. Charming your dad. Every witch knows you shouldn't use spells for revenge. Blair doesn't care much for right and wrong, but she's already on the council's radar. What's the best mortal way to get back at a cheating ex-boyfriend? Bewitching his dad, of course. I like it. Dax was supposed to be retribution, but he turns out to be so much more. She's drawn to him in a way she's never felt for a man before. Okay, so it's ex-boyfriend's dad, but they're witches. I think we can all collectively agree that that's a yes. Below by Laurel Hightower. How far would you go to help a stranger? While driving through the mountains of West Virginia during a late-night snowstorm, a recently divorced woman experiences bizarre electrical problems, leaving her with little choice but to place her trust with a charismatic truck driver. But when unexplainable creatures with haunting red eyes gets between them, she is forced to make one of the toughest decisions of her life. Will she abandon the stranger who kept her safe, or will she climb down below, where reality has shapeshifted into a living nightmare? That sounds crazy. This creature looks crazy. I'm gonna keep that. That sounds really good. Like, what do you mean? Will you climb down below? Where? Below where? Mistakes Were Made by Meryl Wilsner. A sharp and sexy rom-com about a college senior who accidentally hooks up with her best friend's mom. Yes. Yes, so keep that. Bound to the Battle God by Ruby Dixon. I never expected to fall through a portal into another world, yet here I am, a stranger in an even stranger land, and I'm stranded. In this world, men carry swords and gods walk the earth. Within minutes of arriving, I'm enslaved. The one person that might help me is the one person I want to throttle most. Aaron, Lord of Storms, Butcher God of Battle, is my new companion, or rather I'm his. As Aaron's anchor to the mortal realm, I'm the one that's supposed to be guiding him through his exile in the mortal world. Okay, this actually sounds really fun. I'm gonna keep that. Tempt by Melanie Harlow. You've heard the story about the wedding planner who falls for the groom. Well, this is one where she falls for his father. And that groom, he's my ex. I think in 2022, the two things that I was super interested in were monster romances and boyfriend's dad romances. Every single book so far is monster or it's boyfriend's dad. We'll keep that. Slimmer. Oh my god, this cover is scary. When a yacht being used to smuggle drugs sinks, the 6 smugglers must seek refuge the only place they can, an abandoned oil rig in the middle of the sea. But there's something strange about this oil rig. For one thing, it looks more like a scientific research facility, and for another, there are no people, only piles of clothes with no bodies in them. It soon becomes clear that something is loose on the rig, something deadly. It's stalking them, one by one. And it's not just a horrible death they have to fear, it's what comes after. I'm gonna keep that. That sounds scary. Hollow Road Home by AJ Hackworth, who is the author of The Library of the Unwritten, which I love. However, this does not look like it's the actual book. Yeah, this is not a real book, so I'll take that one off. I don't even know what it was supposed to be. I have 2 novellas here from Mira Grant. Unbreakable, which, oh, this looks like it's a fantasy. Usually, when she writes fantasy stuff, she writes under Shauna McGuire, and Mira Grant is solely her horror stuff. Also, this cover is super cool. Okay, the girls of Unbreakable Starlight were once part of an ancient tradition of magical warriors defending Earth from the forces of the outside. They knew their powers and their place, and they planned to fight to the very end. They just didn't think the end would come so very soon. They never dreamed that when the dust settled, 2 of their members would be the last magical protectors in the world. Interesting. Okay, I'm excited to read a fantasy under Mira Grant and see if that's any different from how Shauna McGuire writes fantasy. And then we have Apocalypse Scenarios. Oh, okay, this is a collection of shorter fictions. So these are all short stories. Okay, I will also keep this one. Gwen and Art are not in love. This is Heartstopper meets A Knight's Tale in this queer medieval rom-com. This one sounds interesting because it's like fantasy medieval vibes, and the fact that it is compared to A Knight's Tale, I like that. Don't Stop Me by Eden Emery. She was everything I ever wanted. Smart, beautiful, passionate. I became obsessed with her, or at least who I thought she was. And then she showed me her true colors by showing up on my doorstep as my son's girlfriend. She was off limits, but I couldn't deny the part of me that still wanted her. Okay. It's a sapphic dark romance. I like the sound of that. I will keep that. And then When We Lost Our Heads, this one is on my physical TBR. And as you can see, we made it through 2022. So I think we will end this video here. Let me go through and delete everything I need to delete, and we'll have our updated number. As a reminder, we started at 999 and we are now at 861, and we've gotten all the way up to 2023. So when we start The next episode of the series I will start at the beginning of 2023. We're getting close. We are getting very close to present day, especially considering the very beginning of my Goodreads TBR started back in 2013. So we are getting very close to things that I've put on my TBR more recently. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked it, leave me a little heart emoji in the comments. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!